They say the road never sleeps, but some places along the way were never meant to be found. Gas stations, flickering lights, humming coolers, and endless blacktops stretching into nowhere. But sometimes, when you pull in for a late night refill,
You're not alone.
tonight, on the Night Files, we bring you true tales from the midnight pumps. Stories that begin with a simple stop and end in terror. Leave your headlights on. You might need them. I was 3 months clean when I took the night shift at station 17, a forgotten gas station somewhere off Interstate 76 in eastern Colorado. The kind of place you pass at 75 miles per hour without noticing. No signs, no branding. Just a green flickering neon open sign that hummed like it hated being alive. I hadn't been looking for work, honestly. I was looking for distance. Distance from the people I hurt, from the bottle, and from that night in Flagstaff I still can't fully remember. When I stumbled on Station 17, I'd just been sleeping in my truck out of gas, with $4.08 to my name. The guy who hired me, I still don't know his name. Just a voice on the intercom that said, "You want work? Clean yourself up and come inside." Inside was a single room, counter, security monitor, an ancient cash register, and an empty chair. But no manager, no person, just a dusty employee clipboard with a job description. Responsibilities: attend night shift, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Monitor fuel pumps. Restock shelves. Do not engage with customers between 3 o'clock and 3:33 a.m. Never leave the store after midnight. Never pump fuel for anyone who asks for pump 5. The last line was underlined 3 times. That should have been a clue, but I was desperate. My first shift was quiet, cold, the kind of bone-deep silence you don't notice until it's been chewing at your sanity for 3 hours. I turned on the heat. It didn't work. I turned on the radio. Static. No customers. No passing cars. Then, at 2:59 a.m., I saw it. Pump 5, long rusted shut, supposedly disconnected, clicked on. The numbers rolled like it was fueling something. I stared at the monitor, expecting a prank, but no vehicle had pulled up. Then the camera glitched, just for a second, and when it came back, there was a shape. Not a man, not a car, just movement. A tall shadow next to pump 5, standing perfectly still. I blinked and it was gone. At exactly 3:33 a.m., pump 5 stopped. I didn't sleep the next day. Night 2, a weathered blue Chevy Impala from the 70s pulled in at 1:12 a.m. Lights dim, one headlight broken. The driver was a woman in a floral dress that looked too clean for someone driving a car like that. She didn't look at me, just walked inside and asked, "Do you have the key for the restroom?" We didn't have restrooms. She stared at me like I'd told her I'd murdered her cat. Then she turned around and walked into the desert beyond the pumps. I stepped outside to call her back, and the car was gone. No sound, no engine, just desert dust. Inside the station, a jukebox I'd never seen before turned on. It played Blue Moon, the same version I remember from the diner my mother used to take me to when I was 5. I unplugged the jukebox. It kept playing. I made it to my 5th night on caffeine pills and adrenaline. That's when I heard the whispers, not in my head, but from the floor. I was restocking motor oil when I heard a woman's voice, muffled beneath my feet. "Help me, it's cold. It's so dark down here." The floor was solid concrete. I stomped once. It echoed. Then I saw it. A hairline crack running from the cooler to the back door. The crack wasn't there before. I dropped to my knees and listened. More voices joined the woman's. Some begging, some screaming. One just laughed. A child's laugh. At 3 a.m., the crack vanished. Night 7. The cameras blinked out at 2:58 a.m. And when they came back, Pump 5 was gushing gas. No cars. Just fuel spraying into the air like a fountain, soaking the concrete. I panicked and grabbed the emergency shutoff. It didn't work. Then I saw it. A man-shaped figure in a filthy boiler suit. Standing at Pump 5, face blurred like a corrupted photo. He was holding the nozzle in midair. Fuel spraying past his hand, but he didn't seem to notice. I ran to the window. Gone. Not a drop of gas on the ground. Night 10 nearly broke me. 3 a.m. hit like a bomb. The station lights dimmed, and the sound of hundreds of voices screaming in unison filled the building. My ears bled. The monitor showed every pump occupied by people twisting unnaturally. Necks bent backward. Mouths wide open, soundless. Then silence. All the faces turned toward the camera. In sync, and each one mouthed, "One of us, one of us, one of us." I quit. I left the key on the counter and walked into the darkness. My truck was gone. So was the highway. All that remained was Station 17, glowing dim and green. I don't know what day it is anymore. My phone battery died weeks ago. But last night, I found the drawer behind the counter unlocked. Inside were folders, employee, files dating back to 1971. All-night shift workers, all missing. Every file had a photo. Every photo had both eyes scratched out. And at the bottom, a fresh folder with my name, my picture, and the words, "Status, inducted." He came in at 3:02 a.m. Not a ghost, not a glitch. A man, young, maybe 25, with a military haircut and scared eyes. He asked, "Do you work here?" I nodded. He said, "I don't know how I got here." I stopped for gas. And then everything looked different. The sky's wrong. It doesn't have stars. We looked outside together. The sky was static, like an old TV screen. Cole begged me to help him find his car. I warned him not to go near Pump 5. He didn't listen. He screamed once, just once. Then nothing. All that remained was a smear of burnt rubber and the faint sound of blue moon. Last night, the ground cracked open. Not metaphorically, literally. Pump 5 split in half, and beneath it was a stairwell. Not dirt, not concrete. Something older, organic, wet, alive. I climbed down, against every instinct. The tunnel pulsed like a heartbeat, lined with faces, human faces embedded in the walls, eyes wide, mouths open. Some were crying. One was Cole. I ran back up. The stairwell was gone. Tonight is my 31st shift. The clipboard added a new rule. After 30 shifts, all attendants must fuel the unknown vehicle. At 3 a.m., I heard it. A car with no sound, no wheels, just movement and vibration. It pulled up to Pump 5. I stepped outside. It was me in the driver's seat. Older, gaunt, empty-eyed. He handed me the nozzle. I fueled it. And he whispered, "You'll understand soon. The pumps never sleep. And now, neither do you." There is no quitting this job. There is only replacement. If you find Station 17, don't stop. I wasn't looking to get lost when I left Vegas. Just needed to get away from the sirens, the smells, the dead weight of failed CPR calls. I had blood on my conscience and insomnia scratching my brain. Thought the desert might help. Somewhere around hour 5, my GPS glitched. The road turned from asphalt to gravel, then to nothing, just dust. I was ready to turn back when I saw it. A mirror, half buried in the sand. About 6 feet tall, just standing there. Reflecting not me, but a gas station. Miles ahead that wasn't there in real life. Then my engine cut out. I looked up, and there it was. Crosswinds fuel and rest. It wasn't on any map, and I was out of options. The clerk inside was in his 60s. Called himself Leon. Had skin like wax paper and spoke like his mouth was too dry to move. Said he'd been waiting on someone with hands. I asked what that meant. He said, someone to take over. My shift ended in 92. He handed me a clipboard. Same rules as before. Stay inside between 3:11 and 3:44 a.m. Do not clean the mirror behind the counter. If the window shows a desert storm, look away. Never acknowledge the woman in white if she asks for water. Do not sell fuel after pump 3 hisses. I laughed. He didn't. Then he walked out. His car started before he got in it. First night, I didn't feel scared, just tired. But at 3:12 a.m., the windows fogged up. I wiped the glass and saw the desert in flames. Fire sprinting like wolves across the dunes. But I couldn't feel the heat. Then I noticed something worse. My reflection wasn't moving with me. It just stood there, facing away, staring at the mirror behind the register. I stepped back. It smiled. It's not a normal mirror. Behind the counter is a huge, antique slab of silvered glass with black spots. Old enough to belong in a haunted mansion. Sometimes it doesn't reflect the store at all. It reflects rooms I've never seen. An old hospital hallway. A stairwell made of bone. A child's room with blood-stained toys. Last night, it reflected Leon, the old man. But he was hanging from the ceiling by electrical wires. I turned to check. He wasn't there. When I looked back at the mirror, the noose was empty. The voices started on my 3rd shift, always from behind the mirror. They whisper in tongues I don't recognize, sometimes in English, sometimes in the voice of my father, who's been dead 7 years. Last night, it whispered, Hayden, Hayden, open the mirror. It's not glass, it's skin. I tried touching it. It was warm, and it beat like a heart. Pump 3 hissed at 2:46 a.m. I ignored it. At 3:15 a.m., a red 18-wheeler with no plates pulled up. The driver had no face, just a stitched-over blank canvas of flesh, like someone had erased him. He walked in and placed cash on the counter. Then he whispered, "You serve, you stay, or they drive through you." The truck filled itself. I didn't move. After he left, I checked the pump. It hadn't gone down. Instead, the fuel tank had increased by 12 gallons. We're not serving cars. We're feeding something. She came in at 3:31 a.m., barefoot, wearing a white dress soaked in tar. Eyes missing, skin gray. She asked for water. I froze. Then the mirror shattered behind me with no one touching it. When I looked back, she was closer. I didn't answer. She smiled with twice the number of teeth humans should have. Then she walked backwards out the door. Her footsteps stayed wet for an hour. I checked the bathroom last night. No reflection. None. The mirror just showed rows of people standing behind me. All faceless, all holding gas cans. Some were whispering my name. Some were scratching at the glass from the inside. I smashed it with a wrench. It bled. I tried to leave. Packed my bag. Got to the highway. The road was gone. Not blocked. Erased. Just black sand and the sound of breathing from the desert. Came back to find the store running. But every security camera feed was on me. Not recordings, live footage. Every angle. Even views of me sleeping in the storage closet. One angle was from inside my lungs. The monitor read, "Inhale, serve, repeat." I opened the safe. Found dozens of name tags. All burned. All bloody. And a letter addressed to Next. It read, "You'll be tempted to break the glass. Don't. You'll be tempted to leave. You can't. You'll see yourself in the pumps eventually. That's how you know they've won." Last night, I saw myself in pump 3. I was smiling, but I wasn't driving. I was tied to the hood, mouth sewn shut. I hear a new truck pulling in. Maybe it's someone like me. Maybe I'll finally get to leave if they take the clipboard. Maybe they'll last longer. Don't look at the mirror. Don't listen to your reflection. And if she asks for water, run.